Hey everyone, Nam here again, back to my weekly NFL predictions. This time doing the Week 9 segment for the 2022/23 season. And I'm coming off an even better week. This time I went 12-3. The only games I got wrong were Jacksonville, Denver, New England, New York Jets, and Washington, Indianapolis. And that was very close. Washington scoring late to secure a 1-point win. But overall for the season, I'm 73, 47, and 1. Hope to improve upon that. Hopefully win maybe 10 games this week at least as well. So here we go. You got the Thursday night game between Philadelphia and Houston. Houston, I believe it's Mills who's their quarterback, really had nothing going for them. They scored a late touchdown and tried an onside kick, but for the most part, they were shut down by the Tennessee defense. I really don't see Philadelphia having a problem here. I don't see this being a trap game of any sorts. I mean, Jalen Hurts, if you're a fantasy football player like I am, I mean, he's putting up good numbers. And then you got you got A.J. Brown as your receiver, Miles Sanders. I mean, this is like what you call a spread. I would say they run the spread, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, I mean, this is the type of offense that just puts up, good numbers and is able to establish their offense. Seemed kind of redundant right there, but nonetheless, though, I'm taking the Eagles in this one. I think this is my lock for the week, and it being a Thursday night game. Now we got Indianapolis, New England. I want to take New England. Still seems to be really with troubles with quarterback. Jonathan Taylor had a lost fumble this past weekend. So it just really seems Indianapolis just really isn't, they're a 500 team. Pieces need to come together if they still want to they're not far out of a playoff spot, but they have lost both games to Tennessee this year. But I got to take New England in this one. New England's fighting for a spot to win the AFC East crown. Green Bay versus Detroit. I'm actually going to take Green Bay surprisingly in this one. Will it be enough to, start getting them to go in the right direction? I don't know. But to say it's been a subpar performance of a season for Aaron Rodgers is putting it lightly. That Green Bay offense really hasn't been doing much. I mean, the defense has been holding its own, I think, from what I've seen. They held a stout Buffalo offense to 27 points. So, I mean, that's kind of a win in itself right there. But, you just didn't have the offense just to match it. But I'm going to say they go ahead and take advantage and maybe they get trending in the right direction here. Speaking of trending, Cat Sid, who's in my last video, is coming into my room. He might be making an appearance here any second now. He'll pop in a second. The Chargers versus Atlanta. I don't know what the situation with Keenan Allen, if he's 100% yet. Didn't practice yesterday. Wasn't feeling like he was coming off his feet 100%. Sound like redundant, but he wasn't coming off as fast as he could. Come on, go that way. But you got Austin Eckler as the Chargers' only weapon for Justin Herbert. He's carrying the load there. And against Atlanta, they have a decent running back in Tyler Algier, and then they had, I believe, Hundley. He was complimenting him in the backfield. So we're going to take Atlanta in this one, surprisingly. Maybe it's my upset pick of the week. But, until they at least get one of their weapons back from the recent game, because Mike Williams is out as well. I'm not sure what DeAndre Carter's health, but with Keenan Allen, if he's not ready to go, that puts a lot, of the weight on Austin Eckler. So I'm just taking Atlanta for that reason. Buffalo versus New York Jets. We will take Buffalo here, but I will not be surprised if this is close and tight of a game, being that it's a divisional matchup. Minnesota versus Washington. Usually I like Washington at home, but I'm taking Minnesota here. But I will not be surprised, though, if it is close. Minnesota, I just heard, got T.J. Hawkinson, so I wonder how he'll factor into the game. their offense, and if that will give them a weapon, also not just in the passing game, but also help with run blocking and pass blocking as well. We're going with the Vikings. Carolina versus Cincinnati. I'm going to take Cincinnati here, even though I correctly picked against them last night. I'm going to say they bounce back and beat Carolina. The Raiders versus Jacksonville. Raiders put up a big goose egg. Jacksonville lost late to the Broncos. I want to take the Raiders. I really do, but I'm probably going to take Jacksonville in this spot. The Raiders have just been not good at all. Devontae Adams' heart was non-existent. Darren Waller's been out, and Josh Jacobs has been their lone bright spot on that offense. So we're taking the Jaguars here. Miami versus Chicago. Chicago just traded a bunch of their defensive players, and they kind of got players for their offense and Chase Claypool. I'm surprised that they still have David Montgomery. As far as I know, I could turn this video off right now and see a headline he's been traded. But nonetheless, though, Miami versus Chicago. We'll take Chicago surprisingly in this one. Maybe it's another upset pick. Seattle versus Arizona. I'm going to take Seattle here. I'm going to say Kenneth Walker has a decent game. That was an all right game last week. He had a touchdown that sealed the win for the Seahawks. I think he's going to be an established back for them. I think he's going to be the running back number one for them, even when Rashad Penny is healthy. LA Rams versus Buccaneers. I got to go with the Rams. Just a lot of turmoil and drama, I think, surrounding Tampa Bay with Tom Brady and his divorce and that whole fiasco. Tennessee versus Kansas City. Got to go with the Chiefs here. I think they'll be rested well coming off a bye week. So Tennessee, though, if they want to establish one thing they got to hope is for Tannehill to be healthy, and two is just have Derrick Henry pound the ball and run aggressively. But I just got to go with Kansas City because I just think they have more talent on their offensive side of the ball. And then the Monday night game, Baltimore versus New Orleans. I'm going to take Baltimore. I think it's just going to be their defense will be enough to hold New Orleans. I don't think Baltimore is going to get shut out against New Orleans like the Raiders did. So for one, and two, Baltimore has just a little bit, more of a rounded offense. So those are my picks for Week 9. Feel free to let me know whether you agree or disagree. And with that said, as always, I'm Nam, and always use your noodle.